know, the objective of yoga is to care for yourself. You know, it's not to change yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, so, you know, you're taking care as best as you can, but the change, you know, will happen as it's supposed to, you know, as nature intends.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a certain letting go, you know, and you know, I go back to you know, I go back to religions, like to Christianity in a sense, because not that this is I'm Christian in any way, shape, or form, or any, you know, organized religion,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, there in the world there's they right now they say there's 5 blue zones.
Yep.
Right,
Very familiar.
blue zones are the
Yep.
areas of the world where people live the
Yep.
longest. And one of the commonalities of this is that like one of the blue zones is actually Loma Linda,
Yeah.
California.
Familiar.
And it's the largest population of Seventh-day evangelists in the world,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they have a big effect on this blue zone, and you know, part of that religion is they have faith, right? Faith, right? Faith means giving your power up to a higher power,
Yeah.
right? Like understanding that, you know, nature, you could call it God, but you could also call it the universe. You could call it nature, right? That nature has its own cycle, right? It has its own path. And so, you know, you can't control that. So giving, you know, doing the best you can and then giving it up allows you to be at peace with the results.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what faith has. And you know what? And I have faith. You know, it's not a Christian faith.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
religious faith. But I have faith that the universe knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
Right. And so and part of what the universe knows what it's doing is the passion that it's instilled in
Yeah.
me.
That's great.
And my passion is to heal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so that's what I do. But, you know, I can't control if healing will occur.
Right.
And actually, what is healing? Because you know what, me and you, like we have this vision of healing of like, oh, the air being clean and the animals thriving and plastic pollution disappearing. That's just me and you.
Yeah.
We don't see the broad
Yeah.
picture. How do you know plastic pollution isn't part of the healing
Yeah.
because you have to die before you're reborn? You just talked about it with the mushrooms.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Right?
that's
So
great. That's wonderful, and I love what you're saying because it really makes one of the things that I strive to be is to question my own assumptions, and just like you're right, like how do I know that this vision that I see of this beautiful, you know, in my mind, a beautiful world, like that it would actually be beautiful? Maybe there's some ugliness in there that I just couldn't see, you know, and I wanted to actually riff also on the faith part. For a long time, it was very difficult for me, the whole concept of God and faith. But my mother she was a New Age Christian. My dad was kind of like agnostic or atheist or something. I don't really know exactly what his spiritual beliefs were. But recently, I have friends who've turned to Christianity in a more dogmatic way, and I've had to think about it a lot. I've had to think about like our Judeo-Christian origins in the culture that we're in, because there's a lot of that wrapped in there, and people really get a lot out of this idea of surrendering their life to the will of God. And I never understood that, and I think what you're saying is the way I finally feel like I understand it, and it's what you're saying. It's that I'm letting not myself be the center. It's like Buddhism and the yoga and everything, but just letting the center be outside of me. Like I don't know the right way. I'm not supposed to be in charge. It's not all supposed to be about me. And, you know, but that was a process. That was really kind of like, I think one of the hardest things that we do is to try to, and it's never really gone. I mean, we always have ourself and we got to eat and we have our desires and stuff, but at least to be trying to center ourselves a little bit outside of ourselves kind of has started to give me that level of peace that I think maybe you already have or you're talking about. Or I'd love to hear what you think about what I just said.
Yeah, well, you're just, you're just basically articulating what I just said,
Okay.
and yeah, I mean I feel like there there's something that's greater than us that we are part of, right?
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
us. It is us. We are part of it. But it's much more than just us.
Yeah.
It's everybody and everything.
Yeah.
But that's us too,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I mean, understanding that there is like the universe knows what it's doing. Like
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we somehow it became with no doing of ours. It became and
Yeah.
it is
Right.
of no doing of
Yeah.
us, and we are
Yeah.
here no thanks to ourselves,
Yeah.
right? Like it knows what it's
Yeah.
doing, and giving trusting that just gives you less stress.
Yeah.
It gives you a sense of peace, and that's what that's a very big commonality of the blue zones,
Yeah.
along with making the effort to care for yourself,
Yeah.
because another aspect of the blue zones is the diet they
Yeah.
eat, right? They all eat, most of them eat purposely, like the Seventh-day Adventists,
Mm-hmm.
or just coincidentally because of their culture, like the Okinawans,
Mm-hmm.
and the Costa
Yeah.
Ricans, right? They're eating a very pure diet, a
Yeah.
diet that's just more healthy than this fucking, can I say all these cuss words on
That's
your,
fine. Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this fucking shit that our culture is
Yeah.
promoting, these
Totally.
processed fats and these
Yeah.
sugars and these all the chemicals and the foods and the colorings, and I mean they're putting cancer producing colorings in the meats and the meat counter so the meat looks pretty so you'll buy it. I mean
Yeah.
everything's been tainted so someone's going to make a profit off you. I mean it's crazy, but so most of these people are eating a pure diet too. So there's the effort to care for yourself and the surrendering to what is this beautiful balance, right? And that's yoga
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Right? That's yoga too. That's the serenity prayer. That might be Christianity without the dogma,
Right.
because there is a lot of dogma in it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, what is the pure teachings? What are the pure teachings without the religion?